What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be ranking the Smash Bros boss fights. This is a ranking video I've been needing to do for a very long time now. I'm surprised I haven't gotten this done yet. It probably won't be the most exciting ranking video, but I wanted to talk about more on Smash Bros. I promise I will. But I wanted to do the boss fights because the boss fights are pretty cool, honestly. One of the highlights of the Smash Bros. Series. So let's just go in and get this started. I think we'll just go in order from the one who started it all, technically. Was, of course, Master Hand. One of the most iconic fights in Smash Bros. Series. Master Hand has a lot of crazy attacks to punching, appearing in the background, using lasers apparently, sometimes grabbing you. He improves over time in every Smash Bros. Game, so definitely a pretty iconic fight, so A tier for that alone. Next up we have is Crazy Hand. This is a character, basically Master Hand, basically similar to Master Hand, but he has a little more tricks up his sleeve, and you get him, he basically debuted in Melee if you do really well in the Classic mode, so yeah, definitely a pretty cool fight as well. So yeah, go for A tier. Next up we have is Darkon. This is a boss fight that is near the end of Smash Bros. Ultimate. I mean, what do you expect? Basically, yeah, he just does a lot of attacks that will hit you, and also just in the dark. It makes sense for the character, so A tier. Next up we have is Dracula. Dracula was definitely one of the most surprising fights, honestly, especially considering Simon and Richter being in Smash Bros. The attacks are very similar to Castlevania. I've been playing a lot of Castlevania lately, so this is a pretty cool boss fight, honestly. So definitely putting this in A tier just for that alone. Next up we have is Duon, if I said that correctly. He's an interesting fight. It's basically the two heads on one side type fights you see sometimes. It's interesting, not something I'm that interested in, but it's alright. Honestly, it's a B tier. Next up we have is Galeem. Galeem basically attacks with your light this time. Just tries to hit you. And I might prefer this version over Darkon. Mostly for the music, but it's a pretty cool fight. Definitely really fun, but can be stressful. Next up we have is Gallium. Definitely one of the most interesting, definitely one of the most fun fights in Smash Bros, honestly. He came back in Ultimate. He's pretty fun. I was surprised he came back, honestly. He's also pretty solid in Brawl, even though a bit on the easy side. But otherwise, he's pretty cool. B tier. Next up, we have, I want to say Demon Gan for this one, but that's not what it's called. It's just Gan, and that's it. Basically, you have to attack Gan's tail and basically just do damage to it. And when I also try to stun them and stuff, which you can do. So yeah, definitely putting him in A tier. Next up we have is Giga Bowser. Now, this depends on the game you're playing, in my opinion, because this is the ultimate version of Giga Bowser, which isn't really that tough, honestly. Not really the most easiest fight in the world, so yeah, definitely putting this in C tier. But if we're going by Melee's version, that would be an A tier for sure. But since this is ultimate, just putting this in C tier. It's cool that he's a boss fight, though. Next up we have is March from the Kirby series. I love Kirby Superstar on the SNES. So this one was very special to me. Its attacks very similar to Kirby Superstar. Honestly, what more do they say about this one? This is easily an S tier. It sucks that you need to use a certain character. Thank God I made Rosalina, because that's how you fight Marks and other Kirby characters, I believe. So yeah. Alright, oh boy. Next up we have is, I believe this is called Master Core, something like that. Master Core. Yeah, Master Core. This was one of the most engaging fights. If you try to do well in the Classic mode, you'll get this fight. Different phase in this one, which takes a bit of time, honestly. So, yeah, very memorable one. I don't care about your opinion on Smash 4. It's, well, okay, mostly the Wii U. I know people love 3DS, but I have a bit of nostalgia for the Wii U version. Can you have nostalgia for a Wii U game? I don't know. Anyway, we have, okay, I'm gonna rank both Ridleys. I'm not sure why I put the ultimate version, but this is Ridley. We're going by the original fight where you play as Samus and Pikachu, Subspace Emissary. Ridley in that fight is pretty cool back when people thought he was too big to be in Smash Bros. He was really big. He does a lot of really cool attacks, and I love the music, so But honestly, not as exciting as like other fights, so B tier. Same case for Merry is a bit more cooler because you're on Captain Falcon, the ship. You have to find him before time runs out. So I think I put him above B, honestly. Next up we have is PD Piranha. Not much to say about this one. He just swings the cages and jumps, and that's really it. You have to basically attack the cages to free either Princess Zelda or Princess Peach. Yeah, nothing too crazy, but it's okay, I guess. Next up we have is Porky from the Mother series. Oh my god, I really hate this fight, honestly, and I still do. He does a lot of crazy attacks, like missiles and stuff like that. I really need to play Earthbound someday, but it's a pretty interesting fight, though, I'll give it that. Next up we have is Rathalos. Rathalos is by far one of the most surprising fights. A Monster Hunter representation despite not getting a character, huh? But, yeah. Oh, man. Monster Hunter has always... yeah, Rathalos, he appears always in the background stuff, sometimes attacks, so maybe that's why I find this fight a little more annoying, if anything, but otherwise, he's fine. Yeah, that's all I can say. Next up is Rayquaza, which is a character you fight as well. Definitely a pretty interesting fight right here. Not much to this one, but it's pretty memorable, so A tier. And last but not least is Tabuu. I mean, what more do I need to say? You fight him near the end of Subspace Emissary, some crazy attacks, sick music, and by far one of the best fights ever. Probably my favorite boss fight in the entire Smash Bros. Series. So, S tier. Alright, that was all the Smash Bros. Bosses ranked. Not a very long video, didn't really need to talk about much, honestly. So yeah, my favorite boss fight is Tabuu, and my least favorite is PD Piranha. So yeah, finally got this video done, thank God. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching. What's your favorite boss fight in the Smash Bros. Series? Let me know in the comments below. Later, folks.